I am a single blind mom of 2 girls and people have been mean and very judgmental and they ask things like do your kids do everything for you or do you need a caregiver, and my mother can do everything that I can do and she can clean up and she can cook, and when you are a blind parent naturally you know that the stigma is on us, and if anything happens to our kid everybody is making a big deal out of it and saying oh well she does not know how to take care of her kids, and then they talk about calling CPS and making a big fuss even though they do not understand what our lives are really like and how much effort and strength it takes to raise children without sight while still giving them love, guidance, confidence, and stability. You mentioned that someone called CPS on you and you want to tell us about that and meet Adrian and her condition. And my name is Adrian and I was born with a condition called complete bilateral cryptopalmus. And everything up here stopped developing like the eyeballs and eyelashes and eyebrows, and none of that formed, and I am 1 out of 2 million, so it is very rare, and even with that rarity I still had to learn how to adapt to my environment and create ways to live independently, because disability does not take away ability, it only changes how ability works. Are there any particular tasks that are difficult for you to do in the kitchen? And I do not like to fry on an open stove, so I have an air fryer right here because it is safer and you do not have grease flying everywhere, and that is one of the ways I make my life easier, by using tools that work for me instead of trying to force myself to work in unsafe ways. And describe to us what it is like to have a blind mom, and it is really no different. It is just like some things she will need more help than usual, but usually when we were younger she did everything herself, and I have been the single parent by myself, and I am the type of person that figures my own stuff out, or I try every possibility before going for help, because where there is a will there is, I am sure there is a way, and that is something I truly live by every day. When you guys were younger, did you make all the food and did you help her out? And so when I was 5 I asked to learn how to cook, and from there she taught me how to cook different stuff, and she is like, can I help you in the kitchen? And I was like, well I really do not want you nowhere near a stove, but as long as I am in the kitchen, yes I guess you can help, because safety has always come first in our home, and my mother can do everything that I can do, and she cannot drive but she can clean up and she can cook and she can do things like that, and I cannot really compare her to anything else because she is the only mother I have had. And at 19 years old you fell pregnant, and tell us about that and how you felt. I came home for Christmas to visit my mother and she was just screaming, and she is like, what are you going to do with the baby? And I said I'ma raise it. Like, what do you mean? And my dad was not too happy, and he was like, well you cannot see to do this and that. And when I had the baby my middle brother asked me, why do you not let mama raise the baby? And I said, why do you not just leave? Because I carried this child for 9 months, and you mean to ask me why do I not let mama keep the baby and raise it? And I was like, dude please get out of my face. And eventually people kind of just took it as it is what it is, and my mom, God rest her soul, helped out a lot, but sometimes I had to tell her to back off, and I am like, you cannot take over my job, I am sorry, that is not going to work. And she understood that, and we got into it, but she understood, hey, I need to do this by myself. And then after your daughter arrived, for those first couple of years, was it difficult? And it was not difficult, and I know that change baby and parents get pooped on and peed on, and she did, and especially for blind parents who get underestimated a lot, and society just does not give us the credit we deserve. And she was saying sentences by the time she was 16 or 17 months old, and she was putting her shoes on the right feet by the time she was 15 months, because I was teaching her that stuff early. Because when you are a blind parent you teach with your ears and your hands and your instincts, and it makes your bond with your children even stronger, and you just kind of have to go for it. And trial and error will happen when it comes to your kids, and you just got to decide which way are you going to do this to make it work. And that is what I did, and every mistake became a lesson, and every lesson helped me grow. Do you feel as if you missed out on anything with your daughters growing up and just being able to see what they look like? And it is not really a big thing to me because I pay attention to audio cues, you know, and I knew their cries, and the hungry cries, and the bored cries, and the I do not feel good cry, or the I am just fighting my sleep but I am sleepy cry. And it was easy for me because when you cannot see you learn to hear everything and feel everything and understand your children in ways sighted people do not always think about as children. Was it difficult growing up with your mom? And it was really a struggle actually, because sometimes people stare or give weird looks, and if you are curious that is fine, but being rude with dirty looks is hurtful, and we try to stop that because judgment hurts, especially when people judge something they do not understand. And when you are a blind parent, naturally you know we are part of a minority, and you know the stigma is on us, and this world is not nice. And even though I cannot see, I do know what it is like, because people have been mean and very judgmental, and as blind parents we have to be more protective than sighted parents, because if we get any calls or if anything happens to our kid, everybody makes a big deal out of it and says, oh well, she does not know how to take care of her kid, and let us call CPS or make a hotline call. You mentioned that someone called CPS on you, and it is just nosy neighbors and people who are uneducated deciding they want to call, and my kids have never been taken away because I am doing what I am supposed to do, and I told them if you can raise my kids better go ahead, and they left, and I still got my children because mothers like me fight twice as hard to prove what other parents never have to prove, and that is the truth. What is up, y'all? This is your girl Sapphire, and I need to do my facial care. And when and why did you decide to start posting videos online about your parenting? And my main purpose was to raise awareness about my eye condition, because I do not know anyone who has it, and to first of all thank all of y'all, because y'all are helping and causing doors to open for me that I never thought possible. And why not put my story out there, because maybe one day I will come across somebody like me and keep rocking with me and keep helping me grow up. And I love y'all, and you better have thick skin when you do this social media thing, because if you do not, honey, they will break you. And people ask, do your kids do everything for you, or do you need a caregiver? And they say that is not safe, and you should not be walking around your house like that. And do you live with someone? And what people get the wrong idea and say, I bet your kids take care of you. And take care of who? Because no, you got that wrong. And who took care of them then? And there are people who know my capability and who know my ability, and then there are the people who just assume, and maybe from the outside it seems like that because I help my mom, but it is not like we take care of her, and we do not do that. And I do not have to walk her places, and I do not have to take her places, and she can go by herself. How do you guys feel when you hear or see the judgment your mom receives? And I obviously say something because that is my mother, and I am always on her side, but she takes it like she does not even care, and she does not care what people say. And someone messaged her saying, I know you have eyes and can see, I just cannot prove it. And somebody left that in my inbox, and I know she can see, but I just cannot prove it. And I literally cursed them out and said, I am not in the mood, get off my page with that mess. And this one says, how did you know she was cute if she could not see her? And I have nothing to say to it, because clearly she has not seen us before, and they are my babies, and they are going to be cute regardless. And there is an app that describes baby pictures and things like that, and sometimes I do clap back at them and I say, y'all need to go research and stop assuming and go educate yourselves. And how about you open the book before you start judging by the cover, and read the chapters, and you might like what you find. If you had a message to anybody who has misjudged you and your family, what would that message be? And honestly, we are like any other family, and we are no different, and we have the same issues as you. And I feel like having a visually impaired parent taught me a lot. And honestly, I really love you, and I love you too, Mom, and she knows that. And I just want people to know that with any disability, it is not about the difference, it is about how you make that difference work. And you just have to live the best way you know how, and life is only what you make it. And no matter what the challenges are, do not give up. Because if I can do it and others like me can do it, y'all can do it. And every day is a new chance to grow, and every challenge is a chance to prove your strength, and every breath is proof that you are still fighting, and that means you are still winning.